the curiosity is, I love this. I learned this from our friends at FedEx, is this like emotionally neutral state of mind. It's not positive. It's not negative. I'm just curious. I just want to know. I just want to learn more. And so going into a feedback conversation, not seeking validation, not seeking to justify yourself when somebody tells you something you don't agree with. It could very well be wrong, right? Perceptions may not be the truth. But I can't argue with you because that is your truth. So until I fully understand how you got to that conclusion, I can't do anything about it, right? And so you've got to go in with this curiosity of, I really want to understand where the other person is coming from, which means putting myself on the shelf. And this is a term we use a lot. It always makes me giggle a little bit, especially when we teach it around Christmas time. Not an elf on the shelf, self on the shelf, where I am putting my desire to protect myself, my desire to justify myself, to defend my reputation, all of that. I have to, I mean, it is that you have to make a choice. Say, okay, I'm going into this conversation with Keith right now. I've got to put myself on the shelf. And for 20 minutes, I want to sit and understand your perception of me as thoroughly as I can. And I have to stay curious. In the moment that I switch to being in that more negative, defensive justification space,
even agreement, but keep going.
Or if I go into, yeah, you're right, I know, let's move on, I'm shutting down the opportunity to learn more from you. Right. And so my job is to do, and this, guys, this is really hard, even for us at times. And we are trained professionals in psychology, but when you are the topic of conversation and you are having to listen to things that are difficult to hear about yourself, this ability to stay curious is so, so powerful. And we have a tool we're going to give you. We call it the Self on the Shelf tool, that walks through kind of a step-by-step script of how to have these conversations. But again, it all comes back to this importance of being curious. And again, to reference another one of my favorite podcast episodes, was with Carl, episode 6, right around the election time, right? So we weren't at all talking about feedback, but he recognized for himself that the importance of curiosity in going into difficult conversations with somebody who has a different opinion of you, going in with the intent. And he said, what I'm always trying to do when I'm in a conversation is trying to find out more about that person and what is important to them. And curiosity is how we do that. So if my goal is to understand you, it's not about me, right?